Is anybody trading the XRP USD perpetual contract on BITMEX? Ba 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 ba. Just love that picture right there. So XRP crashed about 60% over there on BITMEX. Over the early mornings. Price was brought down 56% in one candle. XRP enthusiasm failed to stop liquidations. Just a massive cascading of liquidations right here. Just reading the article right here. XRP just appeared on the BitMEX markets just a few weeks ago, caused the ire of traders to drop from 32 cents to 14 cents in one trading candle. Market participants counted the losses from the trading glitch. Jacob Canfield over here says, my mama told me that's the devil's coin, and I'm starting to believe her. Again, here's the rub. We're seeing a lot of, complaints that BitMEX failed to trigger their stop losses, and we have to understand a few things. This leads to immediate liquidations. So again, the first thing to note here is that I have largely stopped trading on BitMEX. ByBit is a far superior platform. This kind of stuff I've never seen this kind of stuff happen on ByBit. So again, say what you will, but I have moved the majority of all of my leverage trading over to ByBit because it's a superior platform. If you're interested, there is a link down in the description. I recommend that you do that. So many traders that I've talked to who leverage trade with me now, whether they be students or whether they be colleagues of mine in the realm of trading, again, the narrative seems pretty clear. Some individuals make money on BitMEX, but most individuals who go over to BitMEX lose money. And I haven't heard that same narrative with those individuals I've seen migrate from BitMEX to ByBit. It's a better platform. And maybe there's a component of that where a lot of these individuals are students in our course, so they're learning the risk management necessary to leverage appropriately and margin trade appropriately. So maybe that's definitely a part of it too. So I don't want to undersell, the strength of our community and the benefit of being in the community and watching the show and just being with us and doing what we do. Having said that, however, Mark DeConing, who's not a bad trader in my opinion. Again, this tweet actually, kind of upset me. Him posting this, he's saying, WTF, F you BitMEX, this is really not okay. My stop didn't trigger and my entire BitMEX account is gone, F you. Now, again, full sympathy to individuals who this has happened to. It's a terrible event. You guys know my story. When I started off in trading, I sucked 10 years ago. I liquidated almost 3 accounts, 2 full accounts. I lost 5 figures before I got good at trading, and I was just stubborn and bashed my head against the wall. And now I've been consistently profitable for about 9 years. And, these are things, but, geez, guys, risking your entire. Now, here's the thing, right? It is possible to deposit just, kind of your at-risk capital to BitMEX and use your liquidation price as an efficient stop loss. That's fine. So say you want to take 2% risk. So you deposit, 2% of your trading account onto the exchange, onto BitMEX, for example, and you open up, basically a max risk trade with your liquidation price at where you want your stop loss to be. And if you lose, right? And you're out 2% of your account or 3% of your account, 1%, whatever your risk percentage is. That is the proper way to use liquidation as an efficient stop loss. But listen, guys, it's not where there's so much money to be made. Consistent, patient trading, very huge, large bets on platforms, especially if you're inexperienced, is not the way to go. There's so much money to be made if you just position size correctly. This is very interesting. We were speaking with, I was speaking with a student who's actually a really talented trader, but he was struggling with understanding the way that we position size, the way that we take larger positions than our equity at times. We take sometimes 200% of equity trades, 300% of equity trades, and that's all based on where our stop loss is. Because your risk is how much money you're going to lose at your stop loss, right? Your risk is how much money you're going to lose at your stop loss. And so if you calculate and put on what we consider to be the optimum position sizing for trading, excluding if you go down the route of like Kelly bets and all that stuff. We showed this individual, my team, we showed this individual how he was position sizing right now, like basically just saying, I take, a static amount of contracts per trade, 10,000 contracts per trade, 20,000 contracts per trade on this platform, 10,000 on this platform. And we showed him, we did the math with our position size calculator in our journal that we provide to members. We typed in, if you would have position sized appropriately, which is actually less risky, which is actually a safer way to trade, and he doubled his return on investment if he just would have position sized appropriately. So definitely, I think that is a huge thing that we teach, that we advocate, that proper position sizing, risk management. I have a lot of videos on this here on the channel. So if you're new to this concept, if you're learning about position sizing, it's easy to do. It's easy to calculate. It's easy to figure out, and it's a safer, more optimal way to trade, because at the end of the day, it's the amount of contracts that you have that determine your risk. It is how much money you put into the trade that determines the risk. Position size, leverage doesn't matter. Margin doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your position size and where your stop loss is, right? People way overcomplicate it and focus on the wrong things. And I think that BitMEX is responsible for this, because I have new students come in and I'll recommend leverage trades and they're like, oh, what leverage are you recommending? Why am I going to recommend leverage, right? Calculate your position size based on your equity and your stop loss and put your leverage where it needs to be. Leverage doesn't matter. If you take a 10x trade, you don't get 10x profit, right? All leverage does, and I'm sorry to go off on this rant, but this is my soapbox. All leverage is it adjusts how much margin or collateral you need to put into the individual position. That's it. It doesn't increase your profits. What it does, if you abuse leverage, is you can then leverage your entire account balance to take on a gross position size that is putting you out of your risk profile, and then you're going to get wrecked. Sooner or later, you're going to get wrecked. So trading, another thing in life where size really does matter. All right. But listen, a lot of angry XRP traders this morning. And there's a couple things that I want to point out. Yeah, here's the tweet, and there's some really good points. There's some really good points on this Twitter thread right here. Coming from Mohit, he says, MEX liquidations are based on fair price marking, and that is a function of the underlying index value. So this should not have happened. Again, yes. So BitMEX's underlying engine, its fair price marking, is based on the index value, and liquidations are handled with this fair price marking. So the entire engine is designed. Listen, BitMEX, they're not stupid over there, right? They're not. I don't think that BitMEX, I don't think that BitMEX is fraudulent. I think that a lot of people don't know and don't understand what lack of liquidity and high leverage does. People put themselves in a position to get squeezed, and you're going to have people take advantage of that. Now, whether or not the exchange is directly responsible for that, I doubt it, because they're going to make more money consistently just doing what they're supposed to be doing. But again, looking at BitMEX's insurance fund, but again, people are responsible for doing that, because again, there's a very brilliant individual in our group. He's a mathematician, and he's created a graph that I've looked at, and it shows that there is, if you look at open positions on BitMEX and leverage being used, there is a direct correlation to the higher your leverage goes, the greater the historical rate of the insurance fund grows. There's a direct correlation. So people are responsible for doing this, right? You guys, it's not like BitMEX is reaching into your pockets and taking out money. Individuals are trading inappropriately on these platforms because you have uneducated retail investors and traders coming in and thinking that they're going to get rich and taking excessive risk, and they are creating the opportunity for exchanges to do this, right? It's not BitMEX's fault. You guys allow BitMEX to do this. But the other good point on here is B saying 2 problems. First, you went long on XRP. Second, you're using BitMEX. But here's the real answer to the question. It's, the stop loss triggered, but because such a large trader dumped the market with a massive market sell and cleared out all the liquidity from the initiation of his sell to the end of his sell down here, all the stop losses in between triggered. But the way the engine works is it looks for where can I get filled? Where can I get filled? And it jumps to where it can get filled, which is at the bottom of the candle. Now, ideally, the insurance fund is supposed to cover this. So that's the only thing. The insurance fund is supposed to cover that differential, not your account balance. Depends on if you're using cross margin or not. But here, that's the thing. The bankruptcy price and the liquidation price. So if you're using cross margin, you're going to get screwed. Isolated margin in this particular instance, your liquidation price and any difference in slippage is supposed to be covered by the insurance fund. Otherwise, they'd have to socialize losses. And what they seem to be doing is neither. What they seem to be doing is taking from your account. So we need more data. If he was using cross margin, that explains it. If he was using isolated margin, it shouldn't have happened, right? So again, need a little bit more data from Mark. Maybe I'll tweet at him later after this.